So a guy shows up at your door. Nice brochure, shiny turbine on the cover, and somewhere in the pitch there's a number, $4,000 a year in savings. And honestly, by the time he leaves, you're already picturing your power bill at zero. I wanted to know how much of that is real. So I went through the actual government data, the manufacturer specs, the zoning rules, the stuff that doesn't make it into the sales conversation. 6 things, specifically. Some of them aren't even installers lying to you, exactly. They're just things they'd rather you find out later. Number 1. They'll tell you this is a 400-watt turbine, like that's just what you'll get. Here's the thing. That number is measured at the turbine's rated wind speed, usually around 25 to 28 miles per hour. That's a genuinely windy day. Most suburban and rural sites average more like 8 to 12 miles per hour, and at that speed, you're not getting anywhere near 400 watts. Realistically, you might be looking at 80, maybe 160 watts on average, depending on the turbine and the site. And look, it's not technically a lie. That number's real, for wind speeds most homes almost never see. Nobody's showing you a chart of what happens at your actual average wind speed, though. And that's the number that decides whether this thing even makes a dent in your bill. Number 2. We can put this pretty much anywhere with decent airflow, they'll say. The Department of Energy says small wind really only makes sense for grid-connected use once you're averaging around 10 miles per hour annually. Their own guidance points to at least 1 acre of rural land as the realistic minimum. So if you're on a typical suburban quarter acre, that's already working against you. There's a rule of thumb, too. The bottom of the blades should sit at least 30 feet above anything within 300 feet of the tower. Trees, your roof, your neighbor's roof. On most residential lots, you just can't hit that number. And if it's mounted low or on the roof, it's sitting in turbulent air, which kills output and can shake the structure it's bolted to. Honestly, if someone quotes you a price before asking about your lot size, your average wind speed, what's within 300 feet of the tower, that tells you something. A good installer asks those questions before they ask for a deposit. Number 3. Don't worry about permits. We handle all that. Most local ordinances want a setback of at least 110% of the tower's height from the property line. So a 60-foot tower needs something like 66 feet of clearance, and that's to the property line, not just to your house. Noise limits usually sit around 45 decibels A in residential zones, maybe up to 55 in agricultural areas. And a decent small turbine can put out 35 to 50 decibels A at rated output. So depending on your lot and your local rules, a turbine that looks totally fine on the spec sheet can still be too loud for where you're putting it. If an installer gives you a firm price before they've actually pulled your town zoning ordinance, they're guessing. Ask to see the real setback and noise numbers for your specific address. Before anything gets ordered, not after. Number 4. You'll get 30% back on the federal tax credit. This one's important because it changed recently, and a lot of people, and apparently some sales reps, haven't caught up. The Federal Residential Clean Energy Credit, Section 25D, the one that covered 30% of small wind turbines, expired for good on December 31st, 2025, after the One Big Beautiful Bill Act passed in July of that year. If you're installing in 2026, there's no phase down, no partial credit. It's just not there anymore. So if anyone brings up that 30% federal credit for a system you're installing now, stop and ask them to point you to it in writing. There might still be a state or local incentive worth chasing, but you'll want to verify that one yourself too. Don't just take someone's word for it. Number 5. Brochures tend to lead with the best case, incentive-adjusted number. NREL puts the median installed cost around $8,000 per kilowatt. Roughly, a 2.5 kilowatt system runs $20,000 to $40,000 installed. A 5 kilowatt system, $30,000 to $50,000. A 10 kilowatt system, $60,000 to $90,000. And the real-world capacity factor, what percentage of that rated output you actually get over a full year, usually lands somewhere between 10 and 25%, depending a lot on your site and how tall the tower is. None of this makes wind power a scam, to be clear. It just means this is a real capital purchase, and it deserves real numbers, not a brochure figure built on best-case wind and a tax credit that doesn't exist anymore. Number 6. We've got easy financing, low monthly payments. Two things tend to stay buried in the paperwork. First, warranties. Reputable manufacturers generally offer 5 to 10 years, but coverage on the parts most likely to actually fail, gearboxes, generators, inverters, is often a separate add-on rather than something included by default. Second, if you finance instead of paying cash, lenders will often file a lien against the equipment, sometimes against the property itself, to secure the loan. That's not some shady installer trick. It's just how renewable financing tends to work. But it can absolutely complicate things if you go to refinance or sell the house, and nobody mentioned it up front. Ask what's actually covered after year 1, and ask straight up whether the financing puts a lien on your home. If they hesitate on either one, that's your answer. So here's 6 questions, one for each thing we just covered, that you can actually use on your next sales call. Can you show me the realistic annual output at my site's average wind speed, not the rated wattage? What tower height are you proposing? And does it clear the 30 feet above obstacles within 300 feet rule? Have you pulled my local zoning setback and noise limits? And does this system actually comply? What federal or state incentives am I actually eligible for? Can I get that in writing, with the program name? What's the all-in installed cost, broken down by equipment, tower, wiring, and labor, not one bundled number? And what's covered by warranty past year 1, and does the financing put a lien on my home? Vague answers, a lot of hesitation, pressure to sign today. That's not a good sign. That's the moment to walk, not the moment to sign. Look, nothing here means home wind power is fake or a waste of money. Under the right conditions, real acreage, wind that actually holds up on average, a tower tall enough to get into clean air, it works, and over 15 to 20 years it can genuinely be worth it. But there's usually a gap between the sales pitch and what's true at your actual address. The tax credit most people picture doesn't exist anymore. The wattage on the box isn't the wattage in your backyard. And the cost conversation almost always starts with the best case number instead of the real one. Ask the 6 questions. Get the answers in writing. And if you've already got a quote sitting on the table right now, don't sign it yet. Run it past everything we just covered first.